What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Destiny 2 Season of the Arrivals video. And today's I'll be covering the new fusion rifle that came with the season called Hollow Words. Now, how to obtain this weapon, you can get it from just random drops from completing activities, but also if you go to the Umbral Engram Station, you can actually have this weapon picked as, I would say, out of the loot pool of the 4, or you can get the specific engram where it can actually have a 50% chance of giving you this fusion rifle. Now this falls under the precision frame type of fusion rifle. It does have a little better vertical recoil. It's not as hard hitting as something like the Aaron Tilt or the Loaded Question, but it still can do a good amount of damage, and it can put you in an interesting spot, especially in something like PvP, which I'm going to be covering like all those aspects. But first, let's pull up the perk pool here and go over PvE. Now I do want to say off the bat, one of the things that I do notice is trait column number 1 and number 2. Like, we can cover barrel and battery and stuff later, and that's totally fine. But I think the main thing here is that it doesn't have the best PvE type perks, I guess. It does have Feeding Frenzy, which is always very, very solid. Lead from Gold, and that doesn't really matter, considering it's PvE and you're probably going to be getting special ammo constantly anyway. The only, I would say, PvE perks on here is Vorpal Weapon and Surrounded. And Surrounded's not, I would say it's not the most used perk, because something like Multi-Kill Clip is the best when it comes to dealing damage to ads, especially hordes of ads and stuff like that. And I would say when it comes to Fusion Rifle comparison in PvE, it's not going to beat the Loaded Question. Loaded Question is just way too good at ad control, and it has auto-loading holster and stuff like that. It's just way too good compared to this for PvE. Unfortunately, I wish I could say it's better. I wish it had something like maybe like Kill Clip, or maybe like Swashbuckler, or maybe Rampage, because those ones like do a little better, but it doesn't really have great damage dealing perks. Verbal Weapon is interesting because you can do more boss damage if you're out of heavy, but again, it's PvE. Like, how often are you going to be using a subpar fusion rifle compared to something like Loaded Question? You know what I mean? Like, I wish I could say differently, but PvE, I probably wouldn't have this thing in there. But when it comes to PvP, we do have a little bit of a different situation. Now let's pull up that perk pool again. Now obviously you do have a variety of barrels to choose from. For me personally, I always opt for range, so something like Hammer Forged Rifling or Extended Barrel, just because it is a fusion rifle and it's not the highest impact, so that means you're not going to have as much range with it, so I do want to max out the range here. I won't worry about getting something like Arrowhead Break or Chamber Compensator, just because you can put a counterbalance mod on it to where it does shoot pretty vertical. Especially in something like PvP, if you aim for the chest, like, you're pretty much going to kill the target. I would say if you're at a medium distance. So next we're going to look at batteries. Again, I would say either go with the batteries that, there's 2 of them. One gives you stability and one gives you range. I would go with those ones. I wouldn't worry about increasing the impact or increasing the battery size and reducing the reload speed on it. I would just focus on stability or range and have one of those 2 batteries in there as probably your best rolls. Now, looking at trait column number 1, we do have a few interesting options here. We have something like Killing Wind, where you get a kill and you actually get to increase the handling with this weapon and movement speed. So if you are somebody who is, I would say, aggressive style play, that might work out in your favor. You do have something like Slide Shot, where you slide and you get a round reloaded, and you get an increase to stability and handling with this weapon, so it is a little more accurate, I would say. Another great perk, especially on a fusion rifle, is Quick Draw, because if you have a primary out and you need to switch to your special, in this case being the fusion rifle, you can pull it out very, very quickly. Something under pressure wouldn't be bad either, because it does keep the projectiles very close together when your magazine gets lower, which is very nice. Looking at trait column number 2, we do have, I would say, probably the best option here is the, I would guess, the new auto-loading holster perk. Basically, I forget what the heck it's called, but it does have that sniper and the machine gun and the reload symbol behind it. But basically, if you get a kill with this weapon and you reload, it reloads all your weapons that are stowed, which can be very nice. But I think another interesting one would be Backup Plan, because especially with Quick Draw and Backup Plan, you'll be able to pull this thing out and actually pull off that first shot very, very quickly. Now, you do have reduced damage on it because of the change to Backup Plan, but again, you might be able to prime them up, or if they are close enough, you could just shred them down. So it does just depend. I guess Vorpal Weapon wouldn't be horrible either, but it's only going to be effective against the supers. The other perk where you get 3 kills and you get health back wouldn't be bad, but again, you have to have 3 kills and you have to be able to have enough ammo and be able to survive that long. You have something like Disruption Break, where if you break the shield of the enemy, they actually are susceptible to more kinetic damage, which isn't horrible, but again, I don't think it's the best PvP perk. Now, again, like I said, like, this thing doesn't have great perks for PvE. Doesn't have anything insane for PvP either. But I would say something like Quick Draw and Backup Plan is interesting. and oh, it's called Sympathetic Arsenal, is that perk, the reload perk that's like auto-loading holster. So this does have some interesting roles with it. As you can tell from the gameplay, like it can shred people down depending on, I guess, where you are and your engagements, right? You do have to pick those very carefully. Going over my final thoughts, basically I think this is kind of like the main ingredient. It's just like a darkness weapon version of the main ingredient, because main ingredient was a precision frame fusion rifle as well. This one just can come with a different set of perks. I do like the look of the fusion. I do like the, I guess, like the scope or the sight of it. It's very interesting to me. But other than that, it's not a crazy fusion rifle, but if you do find yourself with a role that you're like, you know what, I do enjoy this and I am liking it in something like Crucible, or even PvE, I would say go ahead and use it. Like, to each their own. I'm not going to crap on it, but again, there are better weapons out there to use in both of those categories. Alright guys, looks like we're at the end of the video. Just wanted to cover 3 things with you. Number 1, about support. If you're looking for the #1 best way to support me, there's a link below that'll take you to a 4-minute video that I made a while ago. If you want to go watch that, that'd be awesome. If not, it's definitely not going to hurt my feelings. You can also subscribe to the channel, like this video, share this video, follow me on social media with the links below, and all that great jazz. Number 2, regarding social media, I have a Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and a few others. If you would like to keep up to date on Destiny 2 related content, be sure to use those links below to find me on those platforms. And number 3, going over the clan, if you're looking to join my clan, we have some spots open on all platforms. We're looking for active players and community members in the Destiny community. And typically we like to play casual PvE and PvP a majority of the time. I'm definitely all about that solo grind, but I'm willing to definitely play with people in the community, like definitely willing to do that. If you're looking to join, there's a link to the clan page on the Bungie.net site below, and all you have to do is request to join and I'll approve it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll catch you next time.